So once again, this is going to be Snippa on Groot on Celestial. I take it Celestial is like Masters? No, Celestial is like Grandmaster. Grandmaster is like Masters. And then one above all is top 500. And the best way to explain that. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit on this. So I take it. So I love the wall, right? For those that don't know, the smaller walls is good for, you know, blocking off enemies, and if you do damage to them, they damage enemies as well. But the other wall actually can give you shields or armor or whatever it is. That was a really good wall. Now, I do want to. So let's go back. What is that? What is happening? That was not what I witnessed like 30 seconds ago. Let's go back. I didn't even see it rotate up. Why is the map changing? What? Okay, so everyone saw the recording of this, right? Because that's not what was shown. Yeah, what is happening right now? What is happening? Hold on. Do a memento, because that is not what I just witnessed. Because you see where you are, right? That was not where everyone's down. You see your walls down here? I could see that. Because what I was gonna say, Snippa, is I liked that. Obviously, that wall's good. I mean, it's a good wall regardless. So I don't know if you know this. Again, you're Celestial. I assume as a group player you do know this, but for those that don't know, instead of just hitting your E or your shift to throw a wall, especially your two smaller ones, you can click and drag to drop both walls. If you did not know that, that's a fun fact. So these smaller walls, you can, instead of just throwing one, hit the button, hit the ability again, and then drop the second one, you just click and drag. So you hit the ability once and then click and drag. Just for knowledge, if you did not know that. I think that this wall in general was good because it denies the abilities, or denies the supports. I think overall it was just good pressure, good wall usage. But I just wanted to bring up that little factor before this whole thing got buggy. So we're gonna play this out. And I don't even know why the Venom was focusing you. I actually think that was actually a bad move on the Venom. Okay, so now it's going to go up. The VOD's breaking. Now, the VOD's not technically breaking. Yeah, that Venom's actually hard hitting. Early damage. So, just so I'm aware, Snip, because I'm aware that it's buggy right now, but the platform did raise, right? So your wall's just stuck underneath. I am correct on that? Okay, I just want to make sure. Otherwise, it's under. Okay. I don't understand why this map rotates so much. Usually, these maps, especially Hydra, doesn't rotate unless it's at, like, I think it was 25% the first rotation, and then I think it's at 75 is like the second rotation, if I'm not mistaken. But for some reason, yours are switching every like 10 to 15 seconds. So I don't know if that's just a replay thing or what, but that is the most the map has changed in like basically a couple, you know what I mean? Like, how long have we been watching this? We watched it for 3 minutes roughly? That's kind of crazy. So I do like these walls. I think the walls are good. I think the biggest thing is your pressure is phenomenal. I mean, as a Celestial player, I would hope it is. I think that the wall to the left, again, I understand the thought process, right? We're going to back this up. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the vibe. Hopefully it doesn't. So you're throwing left wall, and if I'm wrong, let me know. You're throwing left wall to deny them from moving left and forcing them to rotate out through their main choke, and that's why you ulted. If I'm not mistaken, that's why you did it. I think that's a good call. Actually, how many walls do you have? So you have one. I think here the ult was good, but I would have tried to wait until the second wall is available, so you could have kind of just thrown ult immediately wall. I know you kind of did that, but I would wait until you at least had it. You did. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Snip, ignore me. Ignore me. You did. I was, because I thought you went and then walled after. I would have tried to preset wall first. Then ult. But yeah, happens. I don't even know what I was saying on that. Ignore most of what I just said. Preset wall, I think was good to the left. Deny him, force him to rotate. Fine, no issues on that. I would have preset a wall when you're ready for the ult, so this way it starts damaging almost immediately, catching whoever you can. Because I think that's where people kind of like fall off on the damage with Groot. Like, if I'm being honest, I think that's where the fall off is a lot with your ult on Groot, is because they'll ult and then they throw a wall. But if you preemptively set up a wall, especially when you're forcing that rotation on their side, if you could preemptively throw the wall, that which, you know, the idea is to throw the wall, force them to choose either going left or right or break wall. By the time they're even deciding that, you have already ulted. So you set wall, throw ult, and this way it automatically starts doing damage. I understand the concept, right? But I think that, in my opinion, is why a lot of Groots miss opportunities, is because we're throwing wall after we ult, and the ult does not hold as long as it should. If they ever buff his ult and give the duration like maybe like another half a second, then sure. But because our team composition really is going to rely on like our Black Panther and or like, you know, our Loki kind of making copies, we're kind of doing a lot of, we have to be able to build or min-max our damage. That's the word I'm looking for. We're looking to min-max our damage. So if we're able to get wall first and then go for the ult, I think you can get, I think you'll get more damage off that. But the concept's still there. You still have the concept. Ult, throw wall, spam, you know, damage, and then it does damage with you. But I think the duration is the issue. I don't even know how you missed that. You didn't, but you kind of did. Sneaky little guy. So, I know this is tough because you're the way how you set your walls up. I do like. I'm not saying the way you set your walls up is bad, but one thing to note is same thing as like when you're playing like a Doctor Strange or a Magneto, and you're trying to deny rotations or deny them coming back at us. One thing I would recommend is like I like how we set these walls up. I'm not saying this is bad because we're basically they're forced to come either on this little right side, main choke, or from this little opening, which is how you got the Venom last time. I think those are overall are good ways to set up a wall. But we can kind of do one of two things here. Because we have that one wall that gives us our shields, what we can do instead is one of two things. The first one, which I think you'll kind of enjoy the idea, is like, we know that they can come through this bottom, especially like the gem, right? The Jeff would try to like, you know, do like he did last time. There's a lot going on the point, but Jeff's is pretty open here. Yeah. What I would recommend instead is we want to narrow the angle of which they're going to take. So instead of just keeping it like, you know, wall here, wall where all the walls are, put the one wall like you did, put your other wall over in the right side. So now it almost forces them, like as if it's a small like hallway, to come straight down the middle, or they have to break your wall. What that also does is anyone that's going to play on this angle is just going to take the damage from the walls when you're spamming them. Groot actually has some decent range at best, but this is what I'm saying, right? So if you're able to do that, you're forcing this angle here, this walkway. So now they're going to take damage from your walls. Also, like, and then there's their health pack too. So you deny the two left doorways, and you also force them to go there. That's option number one. Again, this is all subjective. The second one is I would actually recommend is putting a wall like you did earlier to kind of deny them that rotation. Put the wall kind of like in the center, kind of like here, because that's going to force them again to either break the wall or rotate this way. The idea is to slow it down. We want to slow them down and force them to rotate how we want, or force their attention on other things. I'm not saying what you did is wrong, but we want to control the rotation, and that's why it's like playing, you know, playing Fortnite, where you can actually kind of build with Groot. So just other options to think of. I think that the way you set this up is fine. I'm not saying what you did is wrong, but again, to keep the kind of gears turning, think about the best way to force them to rotate how you want. So if we can put a wall basically right behind the Bucky, roughly, that's going to force them to either go left or right or break wall. Same thing with this right side. That forces an opening only to that little stairway. And you can still do damage between all of those, right? So it's just another way to think about it. It's not saying, again, the way your walls are fine. I wouldn't even change how you did your walls, like at all. That's what I'm going to do now, I think, behind Bucky. But that's what I'm saying, right? You force that rotation. They either have to break the wall in an overtime situation, or they just go down, or they take the long route around. And that's what I'm trying to say, is like, just let's think about different options. Because you did nothing wrong. I want to state that again. You did nothing wrong on the wall setup. Oopsie. Here we go. It was good. It also deals damage as well, and I think the big wall heals your team if they're close enough to it, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Snip? Am I right about that? The big wall heals not just you, but your team if they're close by. I know it gives you like shields and armor or whatever it is, but if I'm not mistaken, it does heal them. Big heals me only. Okay. I don't know why I thought the small one did. You're not going to put a little Jeff on me. I talked about Jeff earlier. You're not going to play Jeff on me, are you? Okay. Making sure. But it is kind of like a melee wall. The difference is that if you do damage to the Groot wall as a Groot, it also hits anyone nearby. That's why the combo is basically you're going to do a primary fire, hit the wall with a melee. Primary fire, hit wall with melee. And especially when you're using your ult, because it does max damage. It's basically been maxing. The difference is the small walls are easily broken. So just be aware of that. Right. And that's what we were talking about earlier, Mecha. I don't know if you heard what I was saying, but that's what we were talking about earlier. It's like you decide how they rotate with your walls. Like, you see how that wall went down, like, instantly? That's something that's fine. But, truthfully, that Venom is now... Oh, you just answered bully. Yes, we were actually just talking about that literally, like, not even a minute ago. About forcing engagement and disengagements, depending on how your walls are set up. But these walls were good because the Venom's now stuck. He either has to disengage with his slingshot, or, yeah, or climb. He can't continually go in because he doesn't have his shields anymore. Good. Good. It's so broken. I love Groot. I think Groot's a great character, but God, that wall is broken. So, better get her. One thing I want to mention, as a Groot player, one thing I would kind of recommend if the enemy team is running a Spider-Man who's basically just trying to play for, you know, environmental kills, hear me out on this one. Because I know people really hate when the Spider-Man's kind of just hanging out over here and, like, doing his thing. When these pillars are up, I think they're up for, like, the next, I think it's like the next 20 seconds or so before they switch over. You do that? Okay. So for those that don't know, Bucky and Spider-Man like to hang out here and pull people off the map. So I'm glad that Snip you do that, but put a wall here. If you play Groot and you know that they have someone who can grapple someone away, like Spider-Man, Bucky, go ahead and just put a wall here. Good. I like good. Glad we had the same thought process there.
Against the world.
Oh, okay. I was like, control lost. Oh, we're watching Red game at Black. So again, be a Chad and play Fortnite on them with the pull. I mean, yeah, right. One thing again about the walls, right? So we're kind of stacking right side, and now you're about to pull it here. I would have actually set these up, one on this corner and then the one on this corner. Again, we're forcing that angle. Your wall over here is fine. I think that your team is going to go down regardless here. She ulted to get out of your ult. That's funny. But kind of just separation idea, right? So like you kind of have that concept here with that third wall. I think this wall may have been a mistake, but I would have definitely tried to control how they rotate. Hell, you could even turn your wall because you know you can rotate it by hitting it again, obviously. Split the angle, right? So as an example, let's just say that one on the right's not there. Put a wall like this. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Especially because now they're going to have to rotate two different ways. It's just another way to think about it. They either have to rotate around this way or around this way. You know what I'm saying? So you can change up, and you know this, you can change up how they rotate. So even though we want to kind of deny the angle like this, you can change up how they engage just from that alone. Because obviously we have our wall here, and then we have our wall here, which means that they're still going to have to kind of come in, but it's too open. By splitting it with that other wall, it is kind of stupid. I agree. But if you're able to get a wall kind of like this, then they're forced. You see how your wall on the left is there? You literally force them to the right. Gets them every time. And then again, they have to break the wall. But primarily, that wall's going to probably stay up because everyone's trying to focus on taking the objective. You know what I'm saying? They're forced now to the right because your left wall's there. And then they're going to push point. They have to push point. There's nothing else they can do. So these are just things to think about. It's like, how can I change it up a little bit to make it so you're unpredictable with your walls? Oh, that's what I was doing. I was like, why is it not clicking? That's why it's not clicking. Yeah. Did your Loki just ult? Oh, no, he did. Why? Why did he ult that? There was no advantage to ulting that. He goes down here. There was no advantage of him ulting there. That was a hard int, man. Good. Yeah, I mean, Snip. I feel you on that. I don't know what he was doing. Oh, beautiful play. It copies whoever. It copies whoever he chooses, and he gets ult instantly. It's kind of, yeah, kind of like, yeah. Also, I love that wall. Ooh, he went ult. Yeah. Good wall. That Hulk is out of form, right? Yep, yep. Good, good, good. Good pressure. Good pressure. How did we lose this? How did we lose this? I don't even... Hold on. You go for... Primarily, Loki's really good at just copying, like, invulnerability ults, like, Luna, what was Cloak and Dagger, but, like, you know, Invisible One is really, like, the ideal pick. Unless you want to go, like, double Magneto is actually something I've seen before. I've seen double Groot. Yeah, but 90% of the time you want to copy the support in some form or fashion. But how did we lose this? Because we get Hulk out of form. We get there. Ah, it was the ult from the magic into the venom. Yep. So magic ends up clearing, even though we get 2 picks on top, we end up losing the ones we needed, which both supports. He wasn't close enough. That's why he didn't get locked in. So that's actually super unlucky. That was good by the magic. I was wondering how we lost this. Damn, that's unlucky, bro. Even though you still could retake this. Good. I can wall him off. He tried it. Oh yeah, you retake this. Now you want to play Magic's fun. I just suck at it. Good walls. Good walls. So, most of this VOD, I think we had the understanding here, Snip, is like the idea is just changing up the rotations of our walls, because the pressure that you're applying to the backline, no one on their team can really stop you. If you really look at their team comp, they're primarily going to focus your backline, right? So with that knowledge, obviously we push their backline. Why not? We're Groot. But I think the concept of what we could work on overall is just how we want to change up our walls to force the rotations and deny angles. I think that's the concept. She goes down, right? That clip goes down, right? Yeah. Okay. Say she better. Yeah, I think a wall. Yeah, deny angles. It's the world. That's an ult for you. Bubbles are down. Were you attempting? Were you attempting to get the Invisible Woman in that because you assume that she may be in the same location? Is that was just kind of like one of those ults? Or were you trying to? Because if I, in the reality here, we want to focus supports, right? I messed up. I wanted to go get Invisible, but yeah, okay. So you messed up. I got you. This will be the last one, Mecha. But if you want to set one up, we might be able to do one for next week. for sure. I mean, I only am able to do it once a week. Where yeah, basically streams are once a week at this point. And I've already gone over my time that I normally do. But it's okay. All right, so I think that overall, because that the Venom had used his and the Hulk had used his bubble, that ult, if you had walled and ulted onto top of them, that would have been more because you could have just forced out those supports by yourself. Your team could have taken out both of them because they just don't have anything to sustain the damage from being grabbed. I'll show it too, so you can see it. Let's go back. So there's the bubbles. I would have gone for them. I would have actually rotated this. I mean, I know you were trying to go for her, but I would have rotated on this and gone for, between the Venom and the Hulk. We're down a rocket, though. Actually, we're down 2. I actually think that we probably just don't even go for this. We may have to. We have to. We kind of have to just because of time. Yeah. Losing both supports. So now we're down to 1 support with a Magneto, yours, Panther. Okay. Yeah, we were down anyway. There's nothing we could do. Because even if you landed on the Invisible Woman, you don't have the damage. Losing, both supports there, especially Loki, who did have ult, by the way. Losing that was detrimental to this fight. It's not, I mean, like I said, even if you had gotten her, maybe. But it wouldn't have been enough. So to give you an example, Thor does not play like Doom, but he's definitely the closest thing. So, for example, like Zebra is a very well-known top 500 Doom player. Primarily plays Thor and Hulk. He plays both of them. Good ball here. You're missing your shots, man. C9 it. Ooh, so close. He's actually won. Oh, I bet you did. So again, we have 2 walls. We should be using them for when they come back, right? This is the concept. We need to deny them that rotation back. So even though we're still doing all this damage, we should be trying to wall this off just for those that were staggered, right? There's their Invisible Woman here. Should automatically be walled off. Because our walls don't do much more compared to like what we're trying to do, so we can deny that rotation. It's kind of the idea of like when Doctor Strange, uses his portal to hold them in spawn for like 20 seconds. This would be the most ideal thing, is to throw walls here and take your fights. Just because we want to deny whatever they have. Like, even though they have an ulting magic and they have a Venom still here, we have so much potential with our own support to really stop them from getting healed here. But you can see how the Venom gets healed up. Magic's gonna probably get healed up too. Yeah, this would have been so big. Big ult. Okay. Those are better walls. That portal is gonna be a problem. These walls are good though. Damage isn't there. The damage isn't there. Yep. So, lack of damage. If I'm being realistic, you guys are just lacking so much damage. Like the Psylocke, literally just, in my opinion, just does so much more compared to the Panther. I think that like the Panther's obviously not a bad pick, but we lacked a lot of damage here. This fight was yours to win. Yeah, it's gonna be close. I don't even think you guys don't get this. Yeah. You have a whole nother round. Stop it. That's so much. Oh, there it is. Alright, I think that's okay. So yeah, lack of damage. You can't help that. That's something you can fix. But lack of damage definitely was hurting there. That was hurt. That hurt. That lack of damage hurt.
Like congeal and capture this area.
I don't know. I haven't even played Overwatch. I updated it so I could see like the perks and read the perks, but I haven't played it. Like I said, I've been stuck on this game. You just get out, yeah? Oh, unlucky. Some of them are broken. What I was reading. Like, Brig is broken. Good, good. Good. Dang, I couldn't give it to you. Ready for ball? I haven't checked the ball. I actually didn't read ball. I didn't read any of the tanks. I read the supports and the DPS because it was a lot. Like I said, like Snip, you have really good deniability of rotations. I like your walls are super good. I will not deny. I don't think your walls are bad. I don't. Have you even set up your big? I think you did set up your big wall. There it is. There's the big wall. I mean, that's what Groot does, though. With this fight, that's okay. 52% is not bad. No, I think overall, I think obviously you're trying to hit the one above all, which I think is not gonna be a problem. I think the biggest thing they're gonna run into is just how to continually change your thought process on how to deny. So do you see what I was talking about right there? That's what I mean. You set up your walls, you do your ult, and that, I mean, if they didn't ult here, they were done. You can actually see the damage that you were doing. Yeah, you actually basically get a fix for it. It's actually nuts. Like, yeah, if she didn't have ult there, they were done. You can see the instant damage from it. It's crazy. I'm telling you, man. We can figure out how to get that, like, almost pixel perfect. Almost pixel perfect. They have white here. Yeah, I think that yeah, he does perks to choose from. Yeah, everyone got perks. Everyone did. I think the biggest issue is that your backline's just so weak to you know, the magic, even though, like, their magic is not even like the greatest, if I'll be completely real with you. I think they're just so scared of her that they're just going down. Like, they're feeding this magic. They're feeding this magic. Dude, they fed the hell out of that magic. The only thing I could recommend, like I said, bud, is like, this was not a Groot issue. I don't, in my opinion, it wasn't. I think that your team just didn't have anything to really deal with that, you know, that damage that the magic was doing. If I'm being honest with you, I mean, it was like that's just such a bad combo, right? Like you're running Wanda and Psylocke. They went Luna late. They had ran the Luna earlier, then I feel like that would have been a lot easier into the Magic. The Magic wouldn't have been, and the Venom wouldn't be able to do anything. This was a bad team comp, in my opinion. Overall, though, I think like your pressure is fine. Obviously, you know, you're watching for flanks. I think everything's going exactly how you wanted it to. It's just we just didn't have the damage. We just didn't have the damage we needed, and then when we actually started to gain the damage, we just didn't have anything to sustain the backline for a dive between a Magic and a. Well, I mean, they had three. They had Psylocke, Magic, and Venom. Yeah, I don't think this was on you, Snip. If I'll be honest with you, and I hate saying that because like this game really like is at least better than the last round. I agree. I think that staying on the Loki would have been actually better. Staying on the Loki would have been actually super big here, because if you ran the Invisible Woman plus the Luna with a Loki, that's free. That's super free. I think that was a mistake on, like I said, I think it was a team mistake. The team comp just didn't work the way it should have, and the picks for the team comp are bad. But the takeaways overall for this one is I would recommend just working on changing up how you put your walls down, because I know in the stress of the moment we just throw them. We just try to choose how we want them to, you know, be put down. But if we can take a half a second, especially because like you have such a big health pool, right? I think you have like 800 health or 850. You have 850 health. You can take that half a second and decide, I'm gonna put a wall here, and then put a wall here. Obviously, we don't want to waste them early. We're not just gonna throw them before a fight. We want to throw them while the fight's happening, like mid-fight. But I think you have the concepts. We just need to get the gears rolling on different options. Force them to rotate how you want. So that was a Celestial game by Snippa.